All right, guys. Jack from Wellness at Your Home. I'm here by myself in the podcast studio. And the reason being is we've been getting a bunch of questions. We did a little Q&A post on Instagram. So I figured it's very informal. I'll get on here informally. We're going to talk and I'll answer the questions to the best of my ability. So Jen's got a bunch of questions from you guys and we're going to get started.
Hi. Have you ever used a cold plunge and do you notice any differences?
Oh, I wonder if they mean differences right away or just general. But yes, I've used the cold plunge. I've used the cold plunge a couple times at the store in Mohegan Lake. And I mean, right away, you notice a difference. You're up for the rest of the day. You're very alert. You don't need coffee. You don't need sugar. You get put in that fight or flight mode. I can never say that right. And it lasts the whole day. Like you're very hyper aware. I usually, every day I'll do a cold shower. I don't plunge every day. I should, but I definitely do a cold shower. And even that has been life-changing. I'd highly recommend anybody, if you're thinking of plunging, just do like a month of just cold showers straight. And you'll notice a difference. Like I said, you're going to be awake more. You're going to be more focused. I also realized too, being in New York and being freezing all the time because of this weather, as soon as I get out of the cold shower and I go to my car, I'm not cold. Like I'm fine. I don't even use the heat in my car sometimes because I don't need to. So it's pretty cool to adapt to that temperature. But yeah, you're gonna notice difference right away, and over the long term, you're gonna learn a lot. So.
Okay. Next question. What do you do to manage stress?
I'll tell you what. I mean, you could attest to this too, Jen. It's pretty hard during these years.
It is.
Young. It's stressful as hell. Obviously, I don't have the stress, thankfully, of being a dad and having kids and having to worry about that. So I can't imagine that level of stress. But personally, I do the sauna every day. That really does bring my stress levels down. And one of the book I'm reading actually talks about stress and how to handle it. And number one, it's really not that serious. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're going through, you're gonna get through no matter what's going on. So I try not to let things bother me or hyper focus on, especially on stuff I can't change. That's big that I've learned is if I can't change it, I'm not going to worry about and try to change it. There's a study I was reading too. Alex Hormozy talks about it. And it's, if you say you're on a diet, I'm talking to you, Jen, I don't know why, but I guess I should be looking at the camera. If you're on a diet and you're so stressed about, oh my gosh, I can't break this diet. I need to eat chicken rice. I can't go off. The stress of trying to be perfect kills you faster and does more damage than it would be if you just had the chocolate cake. So take that analogy in life. It's not that serious. Relax. Step in a sauna. Do things you like to do. At the end of the day, it's really not that serious. No matter what you're going through, you're going to get through it. So that's pretty much, as a 22-year-old, how I manage stress. Yeah. Good answer?
Good answer.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
How do you choose and collaborate with guests on your podcast?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's been organic so far from all the guests we had. The reason I brought this idea up to Vinny and we decided to do the podcast is a guy by the name of Mike Dennedy came in the store. He was our second podcast episode or first podcast with a guest. And he came on and he talked about his story of how he fell off a roof. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Watch the podcast. But long story short, he was paralyzed and he taught himself how to walk and he reconnected his neural pathways in his body. So just the people I've met in the store everyone has a story to tell, especially in the wellness field. And I look for people that have a story that can help you. So whether it's me and Vinny talking about our, health issues and how we went into a sauna and how it's changed our life, how Mike, his determination and his mental fortitude brought him somewhere. We try to bring people that will give you a good understanding of how you're going to get through it, and basically just so you can learn. So that's how I personally look to collaborate with people. Right now, it's been a lot of DMing too, like local nurses. We just had an owner of a CrossFit gym local to us come on, and he talked about his stories of, getting into CrossFit, what it's like opening a gym, so on and so forth. So take a look at our podcasts, and I promise you will learn something, and that's a guarantee.
Okay, next question. I've been thinking of getting a sauna. Do you personally have one? And how often do you use it? And what has your response been?
Ooh, damn. Okay. Yes, I have a sauna. So I started working here in June, and I used our private sauna we have in the back. And I used it so much to the point where I just got my own at the house. So yes, this is how much I believe in it. I could use the sauna for free at the store. Shout out to you, Vinny. And I got my own. I bought my own for the house. So that's how dedicated I am. I use it twice a day. And And our first podcast episode, I kind of delved down into it. I guess I'll get into it now again. But I had an autoimmune disorder during a little bit after COVID that was just killing me. I was so tired, but I couldn't sleep. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm tired, I worked all day. It was like, I'm too tired to even swallow food, so I wasn't eating. I just didn't feel right all the time. I was very nauseous, and I looked like a zombie. My skin was yellow. It was disgusting. And I came back for my cousin's wedding in Canada, and I had a little bit to drink, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. And my whole immune system shut down. And I lost my voice for like 3 weeks, a month. It was so bad. And that's when I met Vinny, because my mom was like, hey, he has a cold plunge. You should try it. And Vinny, I guess, saw something in me. He wanted me to open the store. So I started using the sauna every day. And it literally, like overnight, I pretty much came back to my normal self. So yes, I use a sauna. Yes, it's been a game changer for me. It's good for my metabolism. I've lost a lot of weight, obviously, and that's helping with good diet and lifting too. But, you know, it helped me lose weight. It helps me sleep. Sleep is the biggest thing that I've noticed with the sauna is when I don't use the sauna, I don't sleep as good. So that's one of the biggest benefits I've noticed. But yeah, I use it twice a day right now, which is insane. Wow, that was wild.
Yeah,
I hope we got
was.
that. I hope we got that.
We totally did.
Oh man,
It picks
something
up
just
everything.
fell. That was intense. All right.
Anyways, next question. Can I just put cold water in my bathtub and get in?
Like use that as a cold plunge?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good start, I would say, for people is to just, if you're going to, you know, commit to getting a cold plunge, like this is an investment on your health. I would say try the bathtub technique. I don't know how deep their bathtub is because it only would get up to like your hips. So that's unless you like put your legs on the wall, you know.
It depends what type of bathtub.
Yeah, if you have like a jacuzzi tub, then I mean you're welcome. The only thing with that is our plunge gets down to 38 degrees, and the benefits of cold plunge is like right around 46, 45, 47. That range is when you get the peak benefits, and tap water only goes down to 55. So you're not. I mean, yes, you're using cold plunge, and it's cold as hell, so it's going to be good for you, but it's not as good for you as it could possibly be. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and our new ones go down to 3 degrees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, man, I got to do that. That's going to be rough. So, yeah, so you can do it. I'd recommend as a starting point, but you get more benefits at the 45 to 47 degree temperature range, which your bathtub can't do unless you add ice, but then you're going to have ice in your tub, and that's just
It'll melt eventually.
It'll melt, yeah, but that's just a hassle.
It is.
Just invest in the plunge, use it. Notice the benefits. Comment on this video if you guys use a plunge and your benefits on it, and how you feel. I'm curious for that. Did I answer that one good?
What?
Did I answer that good?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I'm trying to be as in depth as I can without like bringing out studies and regurgitating stuff. So.
Hi. What challenges do you see in the wellness industry today, and how does your podcast aim to address them?
Oh, good. All right. First thing that came to mind is the misinformation people are spreading, especially about the infrared sauna. That's like the first thing that came to my mind. The infrared sauna is a great tool to use, but they are misguiding the information and the studies that were used on traditional saunas, and they're framing it as only infrared to try to get you to buy it. Every single study that has ever been done with sauna has been done on a traditional sauna that gets up to 170 degrees. Infrared only gets up to about 140. 130 to 140 is like the sweet spot on where you want to be in infrared. And obviously it's not 170. So all the studies, there's companies, and I'm not going to name any because I don't want to get in trouble here, but there's companies that say, yes, you know, these are all the benefits of infrared sauna. Here's study to prove, but the studies were done with traditional and they leave that part out. So definitely misinformation. There's a lot of like misguidance. Like, I don't know if you know Ozempic. It's like
yeah,
this
those
weight
commercials.
Yeah, it's like it's so messed up. Like, we obviously are in an obesity epidemic, and it sucks. Obviously, I'm not shaming anybody, but like as doctors and health providers, we should be like, hey, this is a healthy diet, or this is a healthy exercise technique, or this is a healthy way of life, mental health wise, physical wise. But we're like, no, you're fine. You ended up here. Let's fix not the problem. Let's fix what's the word I'm looking for?
The root.
The symptoms. So you eat a lot, you have mental health, whatever, and let's not fix the mental health issues. Let's fix your obesity. So we're going to give you a shot. It's going to help you lose weight, but they don't tell you, hey, it's going to strip your muscle fibers away from not just the fat, it's going to also tear your muscle away from your body. And it's just not natural. Like you don't want to put anything that's unnatural in your body. So a lot of misguidance, like, hey, take the easy way out. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that I can't stand. That's my biggest pet peeve is like taking the easy way out, whether it's especially about like, mental health and wellness wise, but just in life, like I don't mean to get all philosophical here, but like the whole point of life is to go through it and experience it, the ups and downs. And everyone thinks like, oh, I should be so happy. Happiness is all I want to do is be happy, but happiness is not sustainable for a long period of time. There's things, the book I'm reading, wow, I'm really going to get into this. The book I'm reading talks about how we all have a happiness set point in your life, right? And I'm talking to you, Jen. We're going to have this conversation. Happiness set point. 50% of that set point is your genetics. So like, for example, you have kids in Africa who have nothing. If they have running water or they get clean water, they're happy. That's their set point. They don't need a lot of things to make them happy. But then you have someone like me who has a fortunate life. I live in America. I've had everything I've ever needed or wanted. Not a Lamborghini yet, but I'm getting there. Like I have stuff. So my set point is going to be like higher. Like kids in Africa, all they want is clean water. Me, a nice car, shoes, nice clothes, my haircut, like my happiness set point is higher up. So genetics plays 50%. Then 10% is your life circumstances. So I don't know, like I've had a fortunate life, so I can't use that. But let's say someone was homeless when they were younger, they don't have their parents. 10% of their happiness is based on what's happened to them and their life experience. Then the other 40% is your habits and your attitude. So with that being said, 50% is genetics, 10% is your life circumstance. You can't change that. That's how it is. But you could change 40%, which is your attitude, your beliefs, what you do, good health, mental health, exercise, blah, blah, blah. And that feeds into your happiness. So everyone's like, oh, I just want to be happy, but they don't want to do the work to become happy. So it's confusing. So that's the taking the easy way out thing that bothers me. So sorry for that rant. That bothers me. So that's misguided. And our podcast is aimed, like I just did now, is to tackle those misinformation and spreading like, oh, you could just do this. It's the easy way out. Our goal is to eliminate that and show you how to live the best quality of life possible. That's my goal with the podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of the podcast, are there any dream guests you would like to feature in the future?
I just went and saw Jordan Peterson talk or a lecture, and that was awesome. He would be someone I would love to talk to. Gary Brecka would be cool. He's kind of what started this podcast. Wim Hof would be pretty sick. What about you as the podcast producer? Any dream guests?
Not at the moment.
Who do you think would like come in here and be like, oh, they made it, they did it, they got X, Y, and Z on? The Rock would be pretty cool. The Rock would be sick. Jocko Willink would be cool. I love like Marcus Luttrell. That would be sweet. Definitely like some athlete, like a high up athlete who takes care of their health and can speak on this. Yeah. That's pretty. Jordan Peterson, I think, would be my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the questions is, why have you chosen Finleo as a sauna you sell?
Ooh, that's a good question. We used to carry a company, and I'm not going to name names, but they were part of the problem of spreading misinformation. Finleo is owned by Taihilo, which is like the oldest sauna company there's been. They're from Norway and Finland, I should say. Taihilo was created in 1919, so they've been doing this for over 1,000 years. 100 years, Jesus.
Whoa.
And so they've been doing this forever. Sauna is now looked at as like a new thing, but it's been around forever. Like there's people that would put wood burning stoves in a room and they would sweat. Like people in Finland and Norway, they've been doing this forever. It's not new. And Taihilo is one of those companies that brought it to the States. If you've been in a sauna in a public place like hotels, I know like the NFL, NBA stadiums for their players, they have saunas. Taihilo built those, especially college stadiums. They're the biggest supplier of all these sauna companies, gyms, etc. So why wouldn't we want to partner with them? They've been doing it the longest. They're the best at it, best quality. They have warranties that'll take care of you. God forbid anything happen, which since we've been selling them, I've never heard a complaint once. They're good people. Our one of the sales reps who takes care of our region, Dale Devil, shout out to you, Dale. He takes care of every single need possible. I was talking with Jordan, and Jordan will call him in the middle of the day, and he'd be on the phone with hours with Jordan and the customer, educating them, giving them resources. So they're good people, good company, and since we've brought them in, it's been night and day. So that's that.
Okay, next question. What are your aspirations and future plans for the podcast?
Definitely that 1 million subscribers is going to feel good. Not going to lie. So
On what platform?
YouTube, for sure. But Spotify as well. I watch on YouTube. I don't really watch on Spotify, but I should. A lot of people listening, but the thing that makes me the most happy is when people comment like, oh, thank you for this tip, or thank you for doing this. That makes a difference. So, you know, like the day I get like 1,000 comments, like, oh, thanks Jack for telling me this. Thanks Vin for this. Thanks. That's what's gonna be a good milestone, I think. Just hearing the positive impact we've had on people.
Okay, moving away from the podcast subject, what is an infrared sauna?
Oh, okay. Did we talk about infrared at all today? Or I don't even remember. No, right?
You talked about your personal sauna.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I do have, yeah, okay. So infrared is sort of new in the sauna world. So traditional sauna, it's the easiest way to explain it, is the hot room with the hot rocks and you pour the water on and it brings steam out there. That's, like I said, where all the benefits come from. Infrared's a little bit newer and they've pretty much popped off since COVID happened. And the way I explain it to people, infrared, when they come in the store and ask that question, is infrared is kind of like a microwave. It penetrates deeper into your skin and opens your blood vessels, and it heats your body up from the inside out instead of the outside in, like traditional sauna. It's basically like a heating pad for your muscles. So if you have muscle pain, joint pain, problems like arthritis and fibromyalgia, etc., we don't have to go down the rabbit hole of that. Infrared sauna is going to benefit you because it's going to penetrate deep where you're, like, with arthritis, you're very stiff, and it's going to loosen those muscles and those joints. It's also good for people who don't like high heat. Now, I love high heat, and I have an infrared, and I'm at the point where I've had it for about 6, 7, maybe 8 months now, and I'm kind of used to the max temperature. Like, I can bear it. It's still hot, but I'm like, oh, I've been here before. Like, when I go in the traditional, I'm like, I got to get out of here. It's so hot, which is good for like mental fortitude and pushing through. So I like the mental struggle, but if you're not a fan of heat and you have like heart conditions or something like that where you're worried about going in the heat, infrared would be perfect for you. So it just depends on, you know, how what you're going through and what you're looking the benefits to do for you.
So you kind of answered this one already, but would you rather use infrared or traditional?
Traditional. Infrared was a great starting point for me. It took me, like I said, it changed my life, and I feel so much better. But I'm actually looking to upgrade to a traditional. So.
Okay, next question. In the ever-evolving wellness landscape, how do you stay updated on the latest trends and innovations?
Definitely not being naive to the studies that come out. Paying attention. I follow a lot of guys and I read a lot of books about stuff like this. So Gary Brecka's always good on posting information. Joe Rogan's pretty good at that. There's just a bunch of people that inform you and to open your eyes and listen. Like, I mean, it's pretty much impossible to be informed nowadays. You can be misinformed, but you're informed nonetheless with all the technologies we have. So just reading studies is one that I do a lot, believe it or not. And just opening your eyes and listening. Things are changing and people have set ways of how they've been for X, Y, and Z years. And I think it's important to, if it's not working for you, find something that works for you and change that, if that makes sense. So keep your eyes open, pay attention, listen, study, do some self-help stuff, do some deep digging on what you want, what you need, and learn how to get there, if that makes sense. So hopefully I answered that pretty good.
Yeah. You mentioned that you use the sauna 2 times a day, but what is a good sauna routine?
Oh, so I have two. I have 2 sauna routines, the morning and the night, and I guess, we'll get into it. So morning, I wake up before I come into work or before I go to the gym. I had the sauna pre-programmed. That's another thing about Finleo that I like is you could program the sauna to turn on at a certain time every day. So I'll get up at 7:38, and I'll have the sauna already at 1:40, 1:45 for me. I'll walk in there. I'll sit there for 30 minutes. And a big thing I learned is it's great for detoxification and clearing your skin. The problem is, though, if you go in the sauna and you sweat and you don't wipe your face, your pores are open and all the sweat that sits on your skins will absorb back into your skin. So you're pretty much, sweating it out, bringing it right back in. And I'll let you get the phone. I'll keep going on this question. So what I'll do in the morning is I'll sit in the sauna for 30, 35 minutes. Sometimes I'll do 40 if I'm really trying to push it. And I'll get out and I'll air temperature dry. I know it sounds so funny, but I'll stand like this and wow, my wingspan looks huge here. I will sit there and air dry, and I will take a towel and I will wipe my face, and I will, do that. And about 3 minutes go by, I'll air cool. I'll let all my temperature, my sensory neurons regulate and go down to core temperature, and then I'll go right into a cold shower. So cold shower, I hate it every single time I do it. It's not my favorite. Is everything okay? All right, we're back.
Did you stop at a complete sentence, or did you just stop mid-thought?
I don't know. But so I stopped. I said my morning routine. Sorry, guys. Interrupted. Phone rang. Busy store here. So I will talk now about my nighttime routine, which is infrared sauna for 30 minutes. Same thing. The only difference is when I air cool dry, I'll be outside. So I'll go outside and literally in my boxers, and I will just sit there and I'll let the cold air hit me and my sensory neurons. Same thing, regulate and go down. And then I will, oh, sorry, I forgot to grab that for you.
You're good.
And then I will do a cold shower at night, which I was nervous about to start because I thought I was going to be so anxious waking up. But it actually helps me sleep better. Now that I think about it, they're pretty much the same routine. I just stand outside during the nighttime. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, please.
Do you think physical health is more important than mental health?
No. I think mental health is way more important. And the healthier your mind is, the healthier your body's going to be. I mean, you've seen, everyone knows someone with mental health issues and struggling with whatever, and hopefully they get the help they need. But they're usually, I've never seen like a very upset or mentally like down and out person be fit, if that makes sense. I think physical health will boost your mental health 100%. But I think if you ignore your mental health, it's no matter how in shape you are, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be miserable. So physical or mental health way over physical, but I think they go in conjunction with each other. I think the better your mental health, the better your physical, and vice versa. So mental health more important, but either way, you can't deny both.
Okay, and we have 3 more questions, and they're regarding the podcast.
Okay.
Have there been memorable stories or feedback from your listeners that have impacted your approach to the podcast?
That's a good one. Mike Dennedy, that's one of my favorite episodes we've done so far because there's been multiple times where people come in the store like, oh, I heard about Mike. Mike was actually, I'm not saying it's because they saw the podcast, but after our podcast, Mike went on the Good Morning Show and he was on like Fox News and all this stuff. So he's educated more people on what happened to him. And, if you could do something, you put your mind to it, you could do it. More people figured that out, especially, with the publicity he got, which was awesome. Shout out to you, Mike. Let's see, the episode with Ken on bipolar, a lot of people have commented on that, like, oh wow, I checked out the website that Ken talked about, it's really made a difference. Those are the 2 main that come to mind, especially the one with my mom too, maybe I'm being biased, was pretty good because we posted a couple of clips on that, and I mentioned a book that I think people should read in that episode, and I've had 3 people either text like the DM the store or come in talking about how I read that book, it was a great book, do you have any more recommendations? So those are 3 episodes that come to mind.
The second to last question, how do you envision the podcast evolving to meet the changing needs of your audience?
I think we do a good job of that. We've had a variety of different people from various backgrounds come on. Ken, who was a Marine, who was bipolar. We had my mom, who's a medium. We had Mike, who, figured out himself. We had, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Who else did we have on? Chiropractors, 2 chiropractors, functional medicine. And there's so many different areas of health, and we just scratched the surface. So, I mean, it's not like we're at a point right now where we're stagnant and we don't know who to bring on. It's just a matter of when can we schedule enough people, because we're booked out for the next month and a half, 2 months. So we're not going to run into that problem. There's so many avenues we could take. We could even talk about how music is wellness, and we can have a whole musical episode. There's endless possibilities with that, so not worried about that at all.
The last and final question.
All right.
Did you ever learn to deadlift? LOL.
Oh man. So like I said earlier, we had a podcast with a CrossFit gym owner, and the topic of me deadlifting came up because I've deadlifted in high school and a little bit in college for basketball, but I am not good at it. I want to learn, but I'm worried, like bad form, I don't want to hurt myself. So, Greg talked about getting me on there in his gym. He's going to teach me how to deadlift, and we're going to make a series out of it of when I'm deadlifting 600 pounds. So no, I have not, but we're getting there. So, good road ahead.
And that's all the questions we have.
So the question. All right. That was pretty good. So again, this is very informal. We figured I'd just hop on here and answer some questions for you guys. We have a new podcast schedule I'm going to announce. Every Saturday, the podcast will be live. We're not going to go live anymore because we don't have Verizon in this area, and I think we have Optimum or Spectrum. They don't support the 4K. So if we go live, our quality is going to be worse. So we're going to record them like we're doing now, and then we'll find a day to post it, which is going to be every Saturday. Do you have a time roughly or no?
No, it's just Saturday morning. They should be up.
Okay. By Saturday morning, we'll be up. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, listen to it on Spotify. Comment on this video if you guys have more questions. I thought this was fun. I like doing stuff like this. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, stop in the store. We're here at 217 Main Street in Beacon, New York. You have anything else, Jen?
No, that's it.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back soon.